and welcome to a brand new video. So today is the day the Premier League videos are back. So today, guys, I am predicting the Premier League table where I think each team will finish this season. So if you like the video, guys, hit that like button, subscribe if not already. We are literally only 2 weeks away. That is right, 2 weeks away from the Premier League season kick-off, and you know the time is now, guys. So like I say, get some snacks, enjoy today's video, and join me today where I predict the Premier League table for 2024 and 2025 season. Enjoy today's video. First up then, we have AFC Bournemouth. That is right, guys, Bournemouth had a quiet transfer window so far, okay. They've signed Louis Sinistera on a permanent deal from Leeds. He had quite a good season when they signed him on loan last season, so that makes sense. They also signed Uno, who was also on loan from Getafe, on a permanent deal as well. And they're in talks with Juventus for another right back, but that's not gone through yet. But anyway, so far, you know, Bournemouth are a good side. Their main big problem now, though, is will they keep Dominic Solanke? Because if they lose Dominic Solanke, that could predict their season. But you know what? As of today, I've heard he is staying for another season because no team have come in for him as of yet. So you know what? Because of that, I do have Bournemouth, guys, to finish quite high this season. I've got Bournemouth to finish in 13th place. I think Bournemouth fans will take that. So let me know down below in the comments, are you happy with a 13th place finish? Well, put your team, let me know in the comments. Next up, we have Arsenal, okay. So last year, Arsenal came so close to winning the Premier League, okay. And, you know, that is twice now in 2 seasons where they have come close to winning the table. Where I put them this season, guys, you'll have to keep listening to see where I put them. Arsenal have made 2 signings so far. They signed David Raya on a permanent deal from Brentford. You know, he's a pretty good keeper, but you know, they didn't really need a keeper because personally I think Aaron Ramsdale is slightly better. Let me know in the comments if you think so as well. And then also yesterday just signed Riccardo Calaflore, Italian centre back. He had a very good tournament for Italy. Obviously he got knocked out quite early, but he did, you know, he was one of their best players, and they signed him for £43 million. That's a hefty money, you know. And you know what? I think Arsenal again will have another good season, but I do think they'll come short for the 3rd time, and that is right, guys. I've got Arsenal to finish in 2nd place. Next up, guys, we have Aston Villa. So this season they are in the Champions League, okay, and that is extra games for the players. And you know what? Because they're not used to being in these sort of competitions, it could have a huge effect. But like I say though, Villa have had some spending fee this summer, okay. They've signed Ian Maatsen from Chelsea on loan to Dortmund last year. Very decent player. Ross Barkley for £5 million from Luton. You know what? He's a pretty solid Premier League experienced player, so that will help them a lot. They've also signed Jaden Philogene, I think his name is, from Hull. They have re-signed him after letting him go a few years ago, and they've re-signed him because he had a good season for Hull last season. The biggest one so far is Onana from Everton, £50 million. You know what? Villa have been spending big this summer, and they're going to have quite a good season. I just know they will do. But their biggest outgoing is Moussa Diaby, £60 million to the Saudi League. You know, they might miss him a little bit because he did have quite a good season. You know, he's quick, he works hard, he's got that pace about him to get through in behind defenders. But we'll see what happens, guys. So this year, I have got Villa to finish in 6th place. So that is just down to the fact they've got so many games to play this season. Next up, we have Brentford, okay. So Brentford have signed a new striker called Igor Thiago, okay, from Club Brugge. Like for like striker with Ivan Toney, okay. But he could face time on the injury hit list, okay. So you know what? I think now, because of that injury, I think Brentford will do all they can to keep hold of Ivan Toney. You know what though? I do think Brentford will have a good season because last season they were up and down, but I think this year they'll be okay. I think this year I've got them to finish in 12th place. Next up, we have Brighton, okay. So, yes, they've got a new manager who is 31 years old, okay. Such a young manager. He's only 2 years older than me. Absolutely crazy. His name is Fabian Herxler, I think his name is. I might have butchered that name. But anyways, 31 years old. He's got potential to be a top manager, and that is why Brighton have got him in, okay. They haven't really signed anyone decent. They've signed someone from Newcastle. I think it's Yakubu Minter from Newcastle. And yeah, they signed him for quite big money. I think it was like £20 million or something. So you know what? He could have a good season. He's quite young as well. And but the only thing about Brighton is they've sold a few of their experienced players and Adam Lallana and stuff like that. But you know what? For their new manager, you can have so many exciting ideas. So I think Brighton will have a good season. I've got Brighton, guys, to finish in a big 11th place. Next up, we have Chelsea, okay. Wow. Chelsea, guys. They took Leicester's manager, Enzo Maresca, after one season. You know what? They can have him because during their pre-season games, Wrexham gave him a good game and they lost 4-1 to Celtic. So you know what? They're having a bad season. A lot of Chelsea fans right now are saying he's only one-dimensional player and manager. And yes, he is. So you know what? They could have a very strange season. And you know, they've signed, and they've also signed a Leicester player, Keenan Dewsbury Hall, okay. That one did hurt a bit, okay, because he's obviously from the academy. But you know what? We'll see what happens with him. But yeah, that one did hurt a bit. But Chelsea are also right now in talks to selling Conor Gallagher because of that transfer of Keenan Dewsbury Hall. So you know what? Where do I put Chelsea, guys, this season? I think they'll have a very difficult season. I think obviously first, I don't know. I think Enzo's style of play will get caught out in the Premier League, okay? And you know, so I put Chelsea, guys, in the 8th place. Let me know down below in the comments, is that a good prediction? Let me know down below, because I think I've got that spot on. You watch. So next up we have Crystal Palace, okay, and listen, these will have a very good season, okay. Obviously they've got Oliver Glasner as the new manager. He is a top manager. They've signed Kamada, who's a Japanese star player, okay. But the only problem is with them, they have sold Elise there, one of their best players this season. But you know what? They're also in talks right now to sign Ismaila Sarr from Marseille, and he is Premier League experience and he is quick. And you know what? Personally, guys, I think they'll have a good season this year. So that is why I've got them quite high. I've got Crystal Palace, guys, to finish in 10th place. You know what? They'll take that. They will take that. Next up, we have Everton, okay. So Everton have sold, like I said, they have sold their best player, Onana. A lot of Everton fans did not like that transfer, and I see why, because he was a big player for them last year. But they have signed 3 decent players, okay. They have signed Lemon and Ndaya, I think his name is. He's like a cam, but he's he's a pretty good player. They got Jasper Lundstrom, who's on loan as well, and he's a fairly decent player as well. He went to the Euros as well. And also yesterday they have signed Jake O'Brien from Lyon as a centre back, okay. And they are doing business, guys, around all of their park, and that is all you can ask for, okay. Their biggest problem now though is if they lose their star defender, which is Braithwaite, to Man United, and that could be a massive loss. But you know what? 2 weeks left until the season starts, and they have somehow still got him in their ranks. So you know what? I don't know. If he stays, they could have quite a good season, okay. Last year, yes, they got points deducted, but for me, they just didn't look that great. So that is why I've got them this year to finish in 16th place. Next up, we have Fulham, okay. Fulham, oh, this is a difficult one, okay, because they have recently sold their best player, João Palhinha, to Bayern Munich, okay, and that is a big loss right there, because he fills their midfield out so well. Like, he's, he's a big lad. He protects that back four so well, and you know what? They could actually miss him this season. But they have signed 2 decent players as of yet. They have signed Ryan Sessegnon from Spurs, but the problem about him though is he is very injury prone, and he has come back home to Fulham, and that could boost his confidence. They've also just signed a club record deal to sign Emile Smith-Rowe from Arsenal. You know what, guys? What a player. I said to you a minute ago that they sold their best player, João Palhinha. They've signed Smith-Rowe, guys. £35 million. You know what? He could have a top season. And you know, but for me, guys, losing their best player is going to be a massive hit. But I do have them to survive by 1 position. That is right, guys. I've got Fulham to just survive in 17th place. Next up, we have Ipswich Town, who got promoted to the Premier League last season. Okay, they had a very good championship season. Okay, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, the step up, guys, from the championship to the Premier League is the biggest step in club football ever. Okay, it's a massive step, and I think they'll struggle this season. But they have signed 3 key players for their season. Okay, they have signed Umar Hutchinson from Chelsea for £25 million. He's a centre mid, right mid, cam. And you know, last season he was on loan to them, and he did look a decent player. They've signed Jacob Greaves from Hull as centre back. You know, again, he had another good season at Hull. And you know what? He could be a big player for them. And also, they have signed one of the biggest talents in Manchester City Academy, which is Liam Delap. Okay, they signed Liam Delap for £18 million. To be fair, that is a hefty price tag for someone like him. But guys, that's 3 right there, 3 key signings Ipswich have made this season to survive in the Premier League. But unfortunately, like I say, the Championship to the Premier League is the biggest step in club football, and I do have them as my first relegated side. That's right, guys. I've got Ipswich to finish dead last in 20th place. Next up, we have my boys, Leicester City. Okay, that, like again, just like Ipswich, they came up from the Championship last season, winning the Championship. But like I said to you guys, the Championship and the Premier League is a massive step, but Leicester have Premier League experience, okay, and you know, they won't find it as hard as Ipswich to compete in the Premier League this season. Leicester have spent some money so far. Okay, they've signed Abdul Fatawu, £70 million. He had a cracking season last year at Leicester. Fantastic signing for us right there. Michael Golding from Chelsea for £5 million. Okay, a lot of Chelsea fans did not want him to leave, but we've got him, so that's a good signing right there. Also signed Bobby Decoria Reed from a free from Fulham, and you know what, I'm pretty happy that free transfer. He's got Premier League experience, he should do well. And also Caleb Okoli, a centre back, massive potential. You know what, guys, let's also in talks with a few more players, but we'll get on to that, you know, when the season starts. But like I say, I think Leicester, guys, will not find it as hard as Ipswich to compete in the Premier League season. But guys, listen, Leicester could have point deductions this season, and that could play a massive part in that season. But for now, I'm going to put Leicester, guys, in 14th place. Next up, we have Liverpool. Okay, so they have signed no players as of yet. Okay, I could play a big part to their season. They've got a new manager in Ern Slot. He has took over from Jurgen Klopp. I know having a manager change after so long will have a massive effect. So you know what, we'll see what happens with Liverpool this season. They could be up and down, but I think they'll have quite a good season at the end. So I've got Liverpool, guys, to finish in 3rd place. Next up, we have Manchester City. Okay, so again, just like Liverpool, they haven't signed anyone decent. They've signed Savino for £25 million from their parent club. Okay, and you know what, apart from that, they've signed no one else. There's a few players that want to leave. Alcaraz wants to leave and stuff like that. And you know what, we'll see what happens. De Bruyne has 1 year left in his contract. They need to decide on his future soon, because, you know, if they lose to Broadwell soon, that'd be a massive loss. Yes, he's 32 years old, but he's still one of the best players in the Premier League. But like I said, they'll have another good season, because Man City, guys, it's just Man City, innit? You know, they always have good seasons, and that was why I've got Man City, guys, to yet again win the Premier League for the 5th time in a row. So that is why I've got Man City, guys, to win the Premier League. So I've got them in 1st place. Next up, we have the Manchester rivals, Man United. Okay, so yes, Man United have had a few good signings this year. Lenny Yoro, whatever the name is, from Lille, 18 years old. Okay, he's got massive potential to do well. But guys, 62, but he cost Man United £62 million. That is a hefty price tag for an 18-year-old. They've also signed Josh Xerxes as well, you know, another striker in their ranks, and you know, he's a decent player, but is he Premier League level? I'm not too sure. But they did sign him for £42 million. You know what? You could prove me wrong, but I'm not too sure. So I've got Man United, guys, this season to finish in 7th place. Next up, we have Newcastle United. Okay, so their major signing this year is Lewis Hall, £33 million from Chelsea. Okay, but their biggest outing is Elliot Anderson. I don't know why they got rid of him. £42 million to their rivals Nottingham Forest. Okay, you know what? I don't understand why they sold. I get it for like financial fair play and stuff like that, but losing someone like him, he has a massive potential, and that could come back to haunt them. There were talk of Eddie Howe on about going to England, but apparently he has shut that down for this season, so they can concentrate and have quite a good season. So that is why I've got Newcastle, guys, to bounce back this year and finish in 5th place. Next up, we have Nottingham Forest. Okay, again, they have signed Elliot Henderson from Newcastle. Fantastic signing for them, by the way. And also Malkovic, I think his name is Malkovic, Serbian centre-back from Fiorentina. You know, he had a fantastic Euros, and he could boost their Premier League squad. But you know what though? Last season they struggled last season, okay, again with point deductions and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I think, guys, Forest will finish in 18th place. You guys may think I'm biased because I support my boys Leicester, but I am not being biased, okay? That is just the full-on truth. I think they'll finish in 18th place, guys. With one spot left in the relegation zone, next up we have Southampton, okay? So, they have signed Herwood Bellis on a permanent deal from Man City. He had a good season for them in the Championship last year, so that makes sense. They signed Flynn Downs from West Ham, centre mid, a decent player as well. And also Adam Lallana. He has come back after so many years, back to his hometown, Southampton. So, you know what? He may be 35, 36, but he's still a decent player to have in the Premier League ranks. They've also just signed Brenton Diaz from Villarreal. It was on loan to Sheffield United last year, but they've signed him permanently on a 4-year deal, and he had a good season for Sheffield. So, you know what, guys? Southampton could surprise me, but for now, I've got them to finish in 19th place. That is all the relegation zone filled up. So I've got Southampton, guys, to finish in 19th place. Next up, we have Spurs. Okay, their only major signing this year is Archie Gray from Leeds, an 18-year-old again, centre mid, £42 million. A big price tag for them, okay. But like I say, you know, he's a decent player. He had a good season for Leeds last year in the Championship, and you know what? He could have a massive future ahead of him, and you know, it makes sense. That signing does make sense. So fair play for Spurs for getting him. I think, guys, with pre-season and obviously before the season starts, they've had all this time to work on some new tactics, okay. And like I say, Ange Postecoglou, whoever his name is, he is a top manager, and I think he'll get them playing a little bit better this season. So that is why, guys, I've got Spurs to finish massive this season. I've got Spurs, guys, to finish in 4th place. Next up, we have West Ham, okay. they have signed Wolves captain Max Kilman for a massive £40 million for a centre-back. I said this about West Ham for years now. The only problem is that they need to work on is getting a new striker, because like I say, their striker's getting old now. You've got Antonio, who's 33 right now, who's always injured though. You've got Danny Ings as well, who is also injured, so they need to update on their striker. But you know what, I think they'll have a good season because they've got the new manager this season, and I think they'll finish quite high. I've got West Ham, guys, to finish in 9th place. We are down to the final team. It is Wolves, guys. Wolves, man. Woo! They have signed Rodrigo Gomez, £15 million from Braga, so that's a good sign. A centre mid guy. He's one for the future as well. And they've also signed Tommy Doyle on a permanent deal from Man City. He had a good season for them last year, and it makes sense. But the only problem is, like, guys, with Wolves is they lost their captain Max Kilman, and that would be a massive loss for them, okay, and I think they'll probably struggle to replace him. But like I say, I think Wolves will be safe this year because I've got them quite high, considering I've got Wolves, guys, to finish in 15th place. And guys, there we have it. That is my Premier League 2024-2025 table predictions. Let me down below in the comments if you agree with any of my decisions. Like I say, this is just my decisions, guys, and my choices, so don't come at me in the comments, okay? But anyway, let's see how many I get right this season. The Premier League, guys, is only 2 weeks away as you're watching this, so like and subscribe, man. Comment if you're not already, and I'll see you guys super soon with a brand new video. So thank you for watching. The Premier League is round the corner. Let's go. Good night.